This is Chris Gore from Film Threat.
Hey.
Hey, how's it going? What's happening?
How you doing?
Cool. Oh, wait, we're started.
Are we?
Are we?
Yeah.
Okay. We might as well start, right?
Okay. Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
I think.
Sure.
I think whenever you're ready. Yeah.
Okay, cool. First of all, I have to say, Michael, I loved you in Scott Pilgrim. I think it's a modern classic, and I've really always appreciated that you never take the simple, easy roles. So you always take stuff that's challenging and interesting. So want to thank you for that. What led you and Dustin to come together for this project, Adults?
Well, Dustin and I did a film together about 7 years ago or something like that, called Person to Person. So we became friends around that time, and you know, I think we were hoping to find something to do together in that time. And Dustin had been writing and bringing several different scripts together, and this one emerged as, you know, a potential thing for us to collaborate on, and it just started to get really more real. And then like through the pandemic, we sort of started talking about it even more, and the script just really kept growing and growing, and it got richer and richer, and it took all these different turns, and then it fell into place. So yeah, so just being friends, we were looking for something to do together again.
And how did the relationship, your character Eric, with your sisters, how did that evolve? How much maybe from your personal experience? And the thing I found very amusing was the breaking into songs and doing performances.
Right.
Is that something that you've done just for fun? It just seemed very organic.
I mean, you know, I grew up with two sisters, and growing up, yeah, we were very, playful, you know, like just goofing around all the time. And even to this day, my older sister is quite good at doing, you know, voices and characters and stuff, just impressions of people. And my younger sister is also like very much a clown. We've always joked around a lot, but otherwise that's kind of where the personal aspect of it kind of ends for me, because this is really, you know, Dustin's script and creation, and not to speak for him, but, you know, I think the personal aspects of it are kind of born from Dustin's experience more than anything, and we just all developed it together, you know, developed the characters and the dynamics together through rehearsing with Hannah and Sophia, and bringing it to life as we went.
Dustin, in terms of working with Michael, do you have a shorthand? Do you go off script because you wrote the script? How does that work?
We have a shorthand just because of knowing each other. There's like, I think there's just like there's a trust. We trust each other, I think, and so it's quite easy, and just to know each other and to know each other's personalities, and just to get along as cinephiles and as friends helps create some kind of shorthand. But we didn't. I often think I should, you know, I don't do there's no ad-libbing in any of my movies, really. There's a little bit of room. There's a room to, you know, sort of do your own thing, and I don't care about hitting every word or anything like that. But I don't really there's no ad-libbing hardly ever. Every once in a while there's something.
Yeah. Well, the script is very constructed. I mean, I think the script was very, you know, very thoughtfully written, and I think ad-libbing can sort of be like a tool sometimes in scenarios where you maybe create a kind of a comedic scenario, and people can just live in it and find things in the moment that might not have presented themselves as you're writing it. But, you know, with a script like this, it was very meticulous in a way, and each scene sort of informs what comes next, and everything was very thought out. So yeah.
Do you guys play poker? Poker is a thread. Your character Eric likes to play poker. Seems very competitive. Is that something you do, or where did that come from?
We do play poker, actually.
Yeah, we do.
And we play together sometimes.
Yeah. And yeah, I had written a version of this movie that is very, very different, that didn't have any poker in it. But around that time period, we're playing poker on Zoom because of COVID. A Zoom group formed that was really lovely and terrific.
Yeah.
And I had loved poker and played poker, but not really gotten into it. But that was when I got into it and learned a lot talking to you.
Yeah, we would play these tournaments every week, actually several times a week at the height of the pandemic. It was kind of the thing that a lot of us looked forward to the most for a while, for the social aspect and the poker aspect. Yeah, and Dustin and I would kind of vent to each other afterwards about how unfair the world is.
I just find it interesting because poker is one of those games where acting skill is actually useful when playing poker.
Kind of. I don't really buy into that myself. I mean, do you? I don't think people are really performing in poker like in the way that you would like think is.
Other than bluffing, I mean, the bluffing part.
Yeah, but I think bluffing, to me, and not to get too technical, but I don't think the bluffing is like the energy you're exuding from your. I think it's the bet you make. You make a big bet, and the bet's speaking for itself, and that's the bluff, And I don't know. I think like there's like maybe a different era where, and it definitely the way poker was depicted in movies, where there's a lot of like energy bluffing.
Right.
And there is a bit of that in the adults where we're sort of playing mind games with each other, but it's sort of at this high level where there's like a lot of, double bluffing and confusion happening. But I don't think people really have to be acting in poker. I think it's actually you should just give very little information away.
But I think the one thing that was fun and exciting to me was that, like somebody like Daniel Negreanu who plays poker, when he speaks so much and talks and like. Some of his talking is to try to figure out what the other person's doing and also to throw them off their game possibly and all these things. And because that is the nature of somebody like him, you get to do something in a movie that you normally wouldn't do, which is like have somebody speak their inner thoughts or speak things like the things that Eric says in the poker games don't really happen in the movie otherwise, and I usually wouldn't write that kind of thing in a movie. But like outwardly psychological stuff,
which is very real.
Yeah, which usually I would never put into a scene. But it's really exciting that in poker you get to you're like there's this opportunity to
voice those
things out, and it works because it's at the poker table.
That's
Otherwise,
true.
it doesn't work in a movie.
That's very true. Yeah.
Well, I really enjoyed the tone of the film where it vacillated between humor, pathos, and there's a scene after one of the poker games that's, I would say, very unsettling. How do you balance that tone of like, we're having fun, and now it's kind of serious, and then it goes to a dark place?
It's just like life, baby.
yeah. Truthfully, yeah.
Yeah. I mean that's sort of like what I like. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, it's sort of the nature of the stuff I've been making in a way. I sort of am drawn to that like things just being, and that humor comes out of, you don't know when it's going to happen, and then like what is emotional and not emotional, or like what's, but in this movie I feel like there's an emotional core that sort of is running throughout the movie, and that is sort of the energy, and then the comedy's coming out sometimes. But I don't know, I just sort of I just tend to gravitate toward that facilitating between those things, like sad, funny, lightness, not too. But I don't go too dark or anything. It's not dark, but like.
Yeah, I mean, I think the way Dustin writes and the way he constructs his movies is very rhythmic, and it's sort of like the rhythm of the movie. And the ups and downs of of those tones and the back and forth. The ride, basically, of it, and the emotional ride of it is really, a big part of like the language of it and what makes it enjoyable to me.
Michael and Dustin, thanks for talking to me here at Film Threat. Congrats on the film.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Cool. Take care.